The BOOMCo Twisted Spinner isn't exactly a well-loved blaster. In fact, most people hate it. And the most obvious reason is for the fact that it doesn't have a trigger. It's got a fake trigger, naughty BOOMCo, but it doesn't have a trigger. In fact, it is operated by pulling that back and then pushing it forward, which is really pointless, but it rotates the barrel in the wrong direction quite a bit. And, well, people don't like that. People want their triggers in for good reason. It's nearly impossible to be accurate with something like this, and people want their accuracy. Especially with the BOOMCo line, which has these beautiful BOOMCo darts that are super accurate. And the Twisted Spinner doesn't give you that. But when it's for sale on Amazon, in fact, at the time of this recording, it's still on sale on Amazon for $7, and you can find it at Target for $8, it's kind of hard to pass up on a blaster that Toys R Us is still trying to sell for $30 frickin'. So, obviously I had to buy one. I mean, everybody hates it. Blaster Labs gave it like their worst product of the year, but I had to have it. Why does everybody hate it? Well, I think most of the hatred is due to the fact that they don't own one. Yeah, I know that can of beans right there, you don't have it, so you hate it. I can understand the trigger thing, honestly. That's not exactly good, but... And obviously this is going to be covered in a practical nerf, but... This is a really good blaster! I like it a lot. I like it far more than I thought it would. And I'll go over why. Let's start with the most obvious. Well, it... Actually, you know, I have tiny baby hands, but it looks kind of not as big as you thought, huh? Well, let's see if I compare it directly to a strong arm. It's the same flippin' size, and yet I get 2 more darts out of it. But that's not all. Obviously, you might have already told, but it hits like a flippin' truck. Holy crap, this blaster is powerful. Seriously, I think it's actually the strongest of any BOOMCo blaster I have used. It's ridiculous. It's super strong. It's too bad it doesn't have a trigger. Yeah, that kind of sucks, but when you think about it, it's basically a sidearm. You could clip it right through there and have it on your belt and pull it out when you need to use it. And what would that use be? Well, if you're ever rushing a target, or a target is rushing you, as in you just need to hip fire, spray, and pray, this is the perfect blaster. It's awesome. It works really well for that. And my $7 for pretty cool flip out hinge shields right there and 8 BOOMCo darts, and actually comes with rounds too, which I love. My $8 or $7 was well spent. It was $7 on Amazon, but it's $8 at Target. Yeah. Why does everybody hate this again? Well, I dug a little bit deeper, and one of the reasons Blaster Labs hated it so much is because both of their models failed. They both broke. That's a little ominous. So, I've had these for roughly about a week, actually a little bit more, and I have tried to break one. Just really tried. Every single time I'm waiting for a loading screen, and let's face it, Bloodborne is out, I have a lot of loading screens to go through, I would just sit there and break on the frickin' thing! And yet, I couldn't get one to break until, I believe, 2 nights ago. I managed to get one to where it would prime, and it would fire, but no darts would come out. And I'll actually see if I can't replicate this. I was just going nuts with it. Let's see if I can break this on camera. Nope, still fires. I was just ballistic with it. I was going way harder than that, and I managed to break one. Still primed, still fired, but nothing came out, which got me thinking. All of the BOOMCo blasters I've seen so far has that utterly ridiculous lock system where when you put the dart in, it pushes down some kind of mechanism which makes a little plate that has a hole in it slide down and complete an air pathway, which is dumb and inefficient, and it's amazing the BOOMCo blasters still get as much range as they could. So, against my better judgment, because I had no idea how this thing operated, and I had no clue on how I was going to tackle this, I had 3 of them. Who cared? I opened one up anyway, and I was greeted with, essentially, this. He says as he launches the spring, don't worry. But yeah, first thing was this little mechanism right up here. There's actually a bunch of bullcrap parts that go up in there. And this basically is what clicks up here on this and moves this little plate that was right here down to complete an air hole, which is the lock, which I don't even know why is in this blaster. So to counteract that, I just literally cut the plate free. You can see that from right here. I just cut it off with a Dremel, and I glued it in line with the plunger, and then glued that little thing on there, and well, that basically fixed my problem. Now, every single time it will fire. And I'm kind of showing the internals here, because you can kind of see there's a lot going on here. What you probably can't see, if I remove this, is this flippin' spring. Might not look like much, but Jesus. I'm not at all strong. I mean, I'm not weak, but I'm not strong either. And this thing, I could not prime it with, I could not compress it with my hand. It just ain't happening. And I think that's literally a K25 from McMaster car. It's a little bit smaller than a K26, and yet is so flippin' strong. It's incredible. And that's what powers, in fact, you can tell right here, as I get that in the light, that's all the air volume right now that you get. Even if I start all the way back here, that's about it. And yet this thing fires so flippin' hard and had a horrible air seal. And of course, now that I've done this, I've gotten a much better air seal. Yeah, there's a lot to like there. That spring is ridiculous. In fact, once I saw that spring, I was pretty much like, well, if the blaster never fires again, I have a crazy spring to put in something. But lo and behold, I got it firing. Obviously not right now because it's in pieces and I had to wait for this glue to cure because I glued it, broke it because I didn't let it cure long enough, and glued it again, and now it's not going anywhere. But yeah, that's basically all you do to fix it. Now, one of the issues that kind of came up after I fixed it was that this right here is the mechanism that kind of holds the turret in place, so it doesn't wiggle or anything. And that arm that I showed you earlier is kind of what engages that and holds it in place. Well, I didn't have that anymore, but all I had to do was this right here, which is, I believe, a Fire Strike catch spring. Just put that right there. Put that in there. It's kind of hard to do when you're on camera. My little camera show, I can't perform under pressure. Oh, come on. There we go. Put that right there, and bam! Problem solved. Now, it doesn't push down the little nub, which engages the clicky. Like, there's a little thing in there that clicks. But it does hold the barrel in place perfectly fine. And, well, that... Oh, I'm going to have fun trying to find that later. It's okay, I got a couple of them. But yeah, that holds that in place, and that little tiny bump right there is what detects if there's a dart in there, which engages the damn lock, which is the reason why they fail in the first place. After that, you're not going to have any problems whatsoever. There's literally no reason for this to mechanically fail. So, if you're planning on buying one of these, keep this video in mind. That is a good fix for a potential problem you may have down the road. I don't know how any of this stuff would ever actually break on you. It's made of what I believe is nylon. It's very, very strong, flexible stuff. And this priming handle right here actually has, like, sheet metal going through the entire thing. It ain't going anywhere. And I will leave you with one last little tidbit. So I already kind of demonstrated that it's roughly the same size as the strong arm. Well, what would this be perfect for? Let's think. What's those blasters that people like to glue to the undersides of long shots? And, well, this is one of them, but I have to, like, tape down or bolt down the trigger and use that as a priming handle. Well, that kind of sucks, don't it? What about the Rough'em Cut? Yeah, that's another one that people like to glue on the other sides of blasters and do great integrations with. You have to kind of pin the trigger down and pump it, but hey, it works great. You know what else works pretty freaking good? This thing. Cut off the handle right here, glue that, tape that, zip tie it, whatever, I don't really freaking care, to the underside of any blaster, and BAM! Bob's your uncle! Yeah, you might want to go buy one or two of these right now before they're gone and you can't get them anymore. There's utterly no reason not to use this for an integration because it's very small, doesn't have a trigger that you need to glue down, and fires extremely hard. Have I mentioned that yet? Well, that's my fanboy-gasm for the day. Actually, before we close out here, I know the video is kind of long, but I thought I'd show you the differences. So this is the one that I fixed/modified, and this is the stock twisted spinner. So we'll start with the stock one. Just kind of, bam, look at those dents. Ooh, I love it. And I hate firing too many darts because I'm going to lose all of these. And now, the modified one. So it's not super apparent, but the modified one is shooting a bit harder. So, hey. Yeah, I recommend buying these.